Hi, this is Nigel from Comeet. Welcome to the world of GDPR compliance. The General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR as it's known, is the biggest change in digital privacy rights in decades. This video will help you understand how to use Comeet to meet your GDPR obligations. Please note that the content does not constitute legal advice. That's what your lawyers are for. When figuring out how to help our customers become GDPR compliant, we based our planning on certain guidelines. 1. There's no one-size-fits-all roadmap to achieve GDPR compliance. 2. Meeting GDPR compliance obligations in the EU while avoiding interruptions to operations in other regions are both critical, so we minimize the effect on non-EU recruiting. 3. Rather than mandate rigidity, we wanted customers to have the choice and flexibility to define and implement their own data collection and retention policies. 4. Recruiters and hiring managers are not legal experts, so we tried to make GDPR compliance tasks clear and simple for everyone. Finally, GDPR is an obligation and an opportunity, so leverage it. Use GDPR as an opportunity to add transparency to the candidate experience and clean outdated candidate records from your database. Now, you may already have realized that there's a lot of flexibility in deciding how to pursue GDPR compliance. We want to help you. So here are 10 suggested steps for you to follow. First, consult your legal resource on how to leverage Comeet's configuration options to best meet your GDPR obligations. Review your rejection email templates and delete any statements regarding retaining candidate data. If you like, start with our new GDPR-friendly default template by clicking More and Restore System Template, then customize it as needed. Define in your GDPR settings whether GDPR protections will apply to all positions or only to those positions in the EU. Candidates have the right to request a copy of their information. In your GDPR settings, you can specify the information categories that you send to candidates. On the GDPR drop-down on the candidate card, you will see an option to send candidates their profile. Work with your legal team to update your privacy policy to comply with the GDPR. Make sure to include in the new policy the data retention choices you've made in Comeet. After updating it, you need to publish your privacy policy on your website and then add the new link to your GDPR settings. Now that you've updated and published your privacy policy, you need to tell candidates applying for EU positions about it. A link to your privacy policy will be included on the application form for candidates who apply on your careers website. Candidates who apply through other channels or are referred by employees will receive the privacy policy link in the thank you message sent to them. Candidates for discrete positions will also be informed, as this is required by the GDPR. When sourcing candidates, Comeet will automatically add the privacy policy link to the first email message sent to the candidate. To make sure all candidates are informed, you can activate the Privacy Notice Auto Template. This message will be sent 7 days after candidates are added in case they were not yet informed about your privacy policy. If the candidate does not have an email address on file, a send notification task will be created and assigned to the specific teammate on the position's hiring team. This automated message will only apply to candidates who are added after the message is set to send automatically. Specify the duration of data retention based on 3 events. 1. From when the candidate applies or is added to Comeet. 2. From the last activity taken with the candidate. This covers everything except for requesting consent. By specifying a duration, you can retain the candidate's data as long as there are actions taken on their profile. If you do not wish to use this option, just select Not Applicable. 3. From when the candidate consents to an additional retention period. Requesting consent is also optional. The retention periods end when none of these durations are valid. If you choose to request candidate consent, Comeet allows you to automate the process. Enable the Request Consent option in your GDPR settings. Once enabled, candidates will be able to provide consent when applying on your careers website. In addition, 2 auto templates will be added to your account: the request for consent outreach email and a reminder. You can send these messages manually from the candidate card or automate them by setting them to send automatically. The outreach will be sent 30 days before the data retention period ends. If the candidate has not responded, a reminder will be emailed 7 days later. After candidates provide consent, they'll see a confirmation page with your company's branding. If candidates do not consent, their data must be removed with the expiration of the data retention period. Comeet supports a process called pseudonymization that removes the candidate's profile, yet allows you to retain activity records for reporting purposes. In addition, if the candidate applies or is added again in the future, Comeet will identify the candidate as a duplicate and allow you to merge the new and historical profiles. Retained information will then become available. If you decide to use this option, enable pseudonymization in your GDPR settings and define which data should be deleted or retained. When the data retention period ends, you must remove candidate data. Comeet allows you to do this automatically. To enable automatic data removal, decide whether candidates will be deleted or pseudonymized. Specify this under Data Retention. If you decide to request consent, do not activate data removal immediately, as you may want to give candidates 2 to 3 weeks to respond before automating data removal. That's it! We spent a lot of time thinking about and planning how to make GDPR compliance as easy as possible for our customers. We expect you'll have some questions, so please read the GDPR articles in our customer support section and don't hesitate to contact your friendly neighborhood Comeet support expert. Thanks very much, and good luck with your GDPR compliance.